There is a dealership on the edge of town that used to move 300 cars a month. This morning the lot is half empty, the showroom lights are off, and a man in a polo shirt is taping a notice to the glass door. Nobody torched the place, nothing burned down. The banners still flap over the empty spaces where the trucks used to sit. And the salesman who worked that floor is standing in the parking lot with a phone that has stopped ringing. The headline you clicked on says dealerships are collapsing and Americans are done paying for overpriced junk. I'll be straight with you, because that's the deal on this channel. Dealerships are not all boarding up overnight like some magic trick. What is actually happening is stranger, and in some ways, it's far worse. Because the car was never the thing they were really selling you, and the numbers are finally proving it. Here's the thing you have to understand before we go one step further. Almost nobody in America actually buys a car anymore. Not with cash, not outright. More than 8 in 10 new cars leave the lot on a loan, and those loans have been stretched, thinned, and loaded up to a point the industry has never seen. You put a little down, you sign for a comfortable monthly payment spread over 6 or 7 years, and you drive off feeling like you got a deal. But you were never paying off a car. You were paying rent on the gap between what it costs brand new and what it's worth the second you hit the street. You were renting the fall. And when the payments finally get heavy, the dealer does something that feels like a favor. He rolls you straight into another one. A new car, a fresh down payment magicked out of your old debt, a brand new stack of payments. It never stops. That is not an accident. That is the entire business model. Americans now owe more than $1.5 trillion on their cars, a record pile of debt sitting on a fleet of machines that lose value every single day. Now, most people think the scandal here is the sticker price in the window. It's not. The real scandal is the debt hiding underneath it, so heavy that a record share of Americans now owe thousands more than their cars are even worth. Stay with me, because once you see how this trap is built, you will never look at a car lot the same way again. Let me lay the foundation first, because without this, nothing else makes sense. Start with the price, because everything flows downhill from there. The average new car in America now costs just over $50,000. Read that again, the average one, not the loaded one. For the first time in history, the typical new vehicle crossed the $50,000 line, and that happened late last year. 20 years ago, a cheap, honest economy car was the beating heart of the market. Today, it's a ghost. In December of last year, Nissan built the very last Versa for America, the last brand new car you could buy for under $20,000. It's gone. According to Kelley Blue Book, back in 2017, there were 36 new models priced at $25,000 or less. Today, there are just 4. In the same stretch, the number of models costing $60,000 or more nearly doubled. The cheap car did not die because nobody wanted it. It died because there is almost no profit in it, while a loaded truck can throw off $15,000 in margin on a single sale. So the factories build what makes money, and the entry point for a normal family car floats up and up while paychecks sit still. But the price is only half of the trick. The other half is the loan they wrap around it. To keep that monthly payment from looking terrifying against a $50,000 sticker, the finance office reaches for the oldest lever they have. They stretch the loan. 7 years is now normal. The average buyer puts almost nothing down and signs for around 7% interest. The average new car payment just hit a record of nearly $800 a month, and a record 1 in 5 buyers now signs up for a payment of $1,000 or more. $1,000 a month for a car. And almost nobody asks the only question that actually matters. Not what is the monthly, what is the total? Because a loan is front-loaded by design. In the first year of a 7-year contract, almost every dollar you pay is pure interest. You hand over payment after payment and watch the balance barely move. And that is when one ordinary driver finally does the math on what they truly owe. His car is 2 years old, and he owes $12,000 more than it is worth. He is not reckless. He is not broke. He simply paid the going rate in a broken market and stretched the term to make it fit, exactly like the dealer told him to. And he is very far from alone. This is the trap the whole industry runs on, and the data is now screaming. At the end of last year, a record 29% of Americans trading in a car owed more on it than it was worth, nearly 1 in 3. And the average amount they were underwater hit an all-time high of over $7,000. The typical person walking into trade was $7,000 in the hole before they looked at a single price tag. And it gets darker inside that number. More than 1 in 4 of those underwater owners were buried at least $10,000 deep. This is what the finance people politely call negative equity. Forget the term. It just means the debt outlived the car. Now, here is where it gets worse. When people hit that wall, the dealer offers what looks like a rescue. He rolls the old debt into the new loan. Say you owe $40,000 on a car worth $32,000. He gives you $32,000 for the trade, takes the $8,000 you still owe, and quietly buries it in the price of the next one. You drive home already $8,000 underwater on day one before the new car loses a single mile of value. And the only tool he has to keep that payment survivable is the same tool that dug the hole: more months. The company that tracks this, Edmunds, followed exactly what happens to those people. The ones who roll their debt forward finance over $11,000 more than a normal buyer, pay more than $900 every month, and 4 in 10 stretch all the way to an 84-month loan. That is 7 years of payments starting already behind. It is not an escape. It is the same trap with fresh paint and a bigger number. And some people do not just roll a small gap. A dealer told the Wall Street Journal about a customer who walked in owing about $87,000 on an electric truck that was worth about $47,000. $40,000 underwater on one vehicle. And his instinct was not to stop the bleeding, it was to roll all of it into something even more expensive. The whole machine is built to let him do exactly that. And here is who is left standing at the counter. Nearly half of all new cars in America now go to households earning $150,000 a year or more. A decade ago, the new car was the working family's tool. Now the working family is at the auction, bidding on the repossessed one. And the payment is not even the whole weight they are carrying. Car insurance has jumped more than 50% in 5 years, and repair bills have climbed by double digits because a small fender tap on a car packed with cameras and sensors can now cost thousands to fix. For millions of households, the car quietly became the second biggest bill they have, right behind the roof over their heads, because the cracks are no longer just cracks. The share of lower credit borrowers at least 60 days behind on their car payments just hit the highest level in more than 30 years of tracking. Around 1.7 million vehicles were repossessed last year, the most since 2009, the bottom of the Great Recession. And it is not only drivers going under. Last year, an entire subprime car lender called Tricolor collapsed into bankruptcy, accused of an $800 million fraud, and it took one of the biggest banks in the country down for $170 million with it. Last time this many Americans were losing their cars, the whole banking system was on fire. This time there is no crash on the news, just a payment that quietly grew until it was the size of a mortgage. So now follow the money, because this is the part that actually matters. A car dealer does not make his real fortune on the car. The margin on the metal, as they call it in the trade, is thin and getting thinner. The real profit lives in the finance office, in the loan markup, and in the little products they staple to your contract while you are tired and ready to sign. The extended warranty, the gap insurance, the paint protection, the etching on your windows, marked up 2, 3, 4 times over what they cost. One survey found a third of car shoppers felt pressured into add-ons they never wanted, and nearly a third found fees that pushed the price above what they had agreed. And the one federal rule written to stop exactly this, to force dealers to show you a single, honest price, was struck down in court at the start of last year and quietly killed for good. Right now, there is no national rule forcing that lock to tell you the truth about the price. And this is why the collapse in the headline is real, just not in the way you pictured. The businesses built purely on hype are already falling. Carvana, the online used car giant with the glass vending machine towers, saw its stock crash almost 99%, from nearly $400 a share to under $5, staring straight down the barrel of bankruptcy. And the whole system runs on machinery this fragile. When a single software company that runs the back office for 15,000 American dealerships got hit by a cyber attack, it froze half the dealers in the country for 2 weeks and cost them around $1 billion. Meanwhile, the cars themselves are turning into the overpriced junk of the headline, especially the electric ones. A used electric car loses nearly 60% of its value in 5 years, far worse than a normal car. The rental company Hertz bet big on electric, then lost close to $500 million dumping those cars when their value cratered. And now new tariffs are adding thousands of dollars on top, roughly $6,000 on a single imported car. The squeeze is coming from every direction at once. But here is the quiet truth I keep coming back to, standing in front of that half-empty lot. A car used to be a thing you owned outright. Your grandfather paid his off, parked it in the yard, and it sat there as a paid-for tool that owed nothing to anybody. For millions of us now, the car in the driveway is not ours at all. It is a monthly payment with wheels, rented in 7-year loops that never end. They did not take ownership away from us at gunpoint. We signed it away, 84 months at a time. So if you take nothing else from this, take 3 things. If you are underwater right now, the most boring move is the best one. Keep the car and drive it because every payment closes the gap. Never roll negative equity into a new loan because all you are doing is dragging the debt into a deeper hole. And when you buy, negotiate the total price, never the monthly payment, and line up your own financing before you ever set foot on the lot. So here is the real question to sit with. If the cheapest way for a family to get to work has quietly become a lifelong stack of debt, dressed up as a low monthly payment and sold by a man paid to keep you signing, then who does the car in your driveway really belong to? Tell me in the comments and be honest, because nobody says this part out loud. What is your payment? How many months did you sign for? And would you do it again? If this channel earns its keep with you, hit subscribe, because next time we are pulling apart the great used electric car crash, and who gets left holding the bill when the music stops. That salesman is still standing in the empty lot, staring at a phone that will not ring. Whatever you drive, hold on to the one thing they can never repossess, the simple fact that it is truly yours. I will see you in the next one.